All right, so check out what I found. Al Oppenheiser, he's the Camaro Chief of Engineering. Now, we got here the brand new Z28. Now, I kind of originally thought that it would just have a 427 motor out of, like, say, I have my 08 Corvette, but you say some significant things have changed. Care to elaborate?
Well, we did a little bit more to it. We worked with K&N and did our own cold air intake. We played with cows a little bit. We've also, to make it basically indestructible, we worked with Penkel to do a connecting rod that's coated with several coats to prevent any of the oiling issues that can happen.
Oh, like a diamond-like coating something?
Yeah, and it's, I mean, basically that plus the performance Molly pistons that are all tried and true from our GM racing programs.
Yes.
And you put these things on a dyno and they basically just stop the test because they can't get it to fail when they go watt forever. And so we wanted to make sure this thing would be indestructible. Our exhaust is a tri-Y design that we designed at GM, and goes into a 2 3/4 up to a 3-inch, then back down to a 2 3/4. With our active exhaust, when the valves are open, it's basically a straight exhaust. So maximizing the horsepower.
Does that do the butterflies? Are they in the exhaust, or are they actually before the
It's in the exhaust, and it gets vacuumed from the intake, just like we call it our NPP or active exhaust.
Yes, yes.
Same thing that's on the ZL1.
Like that. Okay.
Same thing you can get on 1LE.
Okay, that's what I kind of thought too. And I also heard there was a very significant suspension change in here.
Absolutely.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure.
I'm not that much of a suspension
Sure.
guy.
The coolest thing about the Z28 is the GM leadership basically took the shackles off engineering and said, just go make this thing win.
Oh, they just said,
down.
here's your budget.
Yeah, not quite that easy, but
darn. Okay.
So anyway, we went with the top of the line names in racing. I mentioned K&N, but we worked with Multimatic. It's a company in Oshawa, Canada, Oshawa, Ontario. They do a dynamic spool valve damping system for Formula One. They call it DSSV, Dynamic Suspension Spool Valve.
Never heard of it.
As opposed to a stack plate type damper system, it's a specifically designed spool valve that the port is designed for the infinitely tunable compression and rebound settings that we have. So in layman's terms, if you set your car up for the track, usually you set it up for high-speed damping and you compromise it. It's terrible to drive around the town, so on parking lots.
You take your good, you take your bad.
Right.
Yeah.
So with the dynamic spool valve system, it's infinitely tunable for us, so we can set the force velocity curve for high and low speed compression and rebound damping.
Yes.
So it's not tunable by our customer, but we've got the best drivers around in the industry that we've been to the Nurburgring, VIR, Barber Motorsports Park, our own Milford Road Course. We've tested the top tracks in the world, and so we've set up the force velocity curves. And the very cool thing that Multimatic does is they've got their own proprietary software system that'll design the spool valve port that when we call over from a racetrack and say, hey, we need a little bit more compression damping in this kind of a turn, they're able to put that in their simulator, create a new port, test it on their road simulator that's probably the best in the world, send us the data, and if we have a machine shop at the track, we can machine the new port, have it on the track within a couple hours. So basically it's real-time development of our damping system, and we're the first production application of it, and it's just it's a top-of-the-line racing.
Yeah, and speaking of how awesome that is, I mean, I've heard some rumors that you went out there and might have beat on some people from across the ocean.
We did. We were over in October, and a lot of people have seen, I think over 1 million people have seen the Nurburgring video, our 737 that we ran in the rain. Adam Dean's a phenomenal driver, and if you don't appreciate the Nurburgring and when it rains over there, just pay attention to his hands on the wheel. And so anyway, we're over there all week. It was Industry Pool Week. Porsche was over there with their GT3. And basically, we were the pesky Americans in their rearview mirror, and sometimes they were the pesky Germans in our rearview mirror. But a personal moment that our team had over there was on the last day, the Porsche guys packed up and left the paddock area, stop of the Nürburgring, and looked over and kind of gave us the acknowledgement that, hey, you know,
that nod of respect.
Very nod of respect. We took that to heart, because they're obviously
that means a lot.
They're obviously something to shoot for, and just to be swimming around the Nürburgring with those guys was phenomenal.
One of the most winningest car manufacturers in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that means a lot. Cool. Hey, man, I appreciate you giving me some time and
Oh, absolutely. I'll never
this.
be tired talking about this car. It's the best, most track-capable Camaro we've ever done.
Al, trust me, we don't have enough battery. Because yeah, I could talk about this too. You and I can go toe to toe. Hey man, I appreciate the interview though.
Not a problem. Anytime.
All right, man, take care.
Thank you.